This is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and also an energy worker and a channel and a psychic medium. And at tdjacobs.com, you'll find tools of all kinds to support you along your journey wherever you are, including programmed crystals. And this video is a programmed crystal update. It's kind of a Dear Diary kind of thing. Just explain to you what I've been using lately and why. And along the way, you'll learn about 4 or 5 or 6 different stones that I offer. I offer over a dozen, maybe it's about 15 right now at tdjacobs.com. And today's November 29th, but from now until the end of December 31st, so for the rest of 2018, I'm offering 25% off all the programmed crystals on my site. That actually includes the largest moldavites that I don't even give haven't even thus far given my subscribers discounts on. My subscribers get 25% off crystals except certain really expensive moldavites. But anyway, I'm opening that up to everybody, and there is a code that you can use. It's in my blog and it's on Facebook, and the code, I'll tell you now, the code is I am empowered, lowercase, one word. Use that at checkout to do that. Don't use it for books and readings and classes and other things and MP3s. It's only for the crystals. Anyway, 25% off. Shipping costs will still apply. If you are outside the US and you are interested in one or several crystals, look at the site, figure out which ones you want, send me the inventory numbers, and then what I'll do is I'll mark them as sold, and then I will pack them up, ship them to get the correct shipping costs. So anyway, be in touch about that, or you can buy them and then understand I will be invoicing you after I find out what the real cost is, you know, for the full shipping cost. How many crystals you get determines, of course, how much the shipping is. You can opt for shipping with insurance. Most people get it without. It's usually fine. One time, a shipment to, I want to say it was Lebanon, was lost for months, but then it got there. So anyway, but most places that I've shipped to different parts of the world are fine. So what the crystals do, let me just give you a little intro on that if this is new to you. What crystals do in general is, you know, they're made of different materials and there's different colors and things like that. Like this is moldavite, it's a tektite, which is glass formed from the fireball that resulted from a meteorite striking the earth, like strikes and the explosion happens. This is the glass that's left over after that. This is granite with azurite in it called K2 from Pakistan. They're different things. This is, and so that's granite, right? This is glass. And then this is pectolite. Larimar is, let's see if you can get like a better light on it here. Pectolite, what happens to have iron in it, so it's blue. But anyway, there are different materials and different colors. And the materials have different crystal or molecular structure, but also they have different densities. So the way that crystals work normally, if you just buy one somewhere that's not from me, is that your energy field will be reflected in certain ways by that stone or crystal. And you'll start to notice changes slowly over time. And that crystals are very popular tools for metaphysical healing and all kinds of spiritual things, of course, meditation, healing. What I do is, as an energy worker who plays a lot with consciousness and different frequencies, I put energy into the crystals either to amplify their natural results, or I put something specific in that changes what they would normally do. So, for example, tiger iron, which is like kind of the main thing that I recommend to people to get grounded. Tiger iron, and here's a little strand of beads. You can just see the little gold. Oh my gosh, this is so weird to do this on this little. Also, the light's weird in here. It looks like I'm pink, like I'm actually my face is actually the flesh, the face of a pig. It looks really weird. It's just where I'm staying. I have this little lamp pulled over, but it's weird anyway. Haven't done videos here yet. But anyway, tiger iron, you can see the beads, the stripes on the beads. It's a layered combination of 3 crystals, 3 materials that affect your lower 3 chakras. And slowly over time, you'll notice effects. But what I do is I put energy in that will call up fears, pain, regret, guilt, shame related to those lower 3 chakras. So there's a really direct pretty immediate effect that pulls energy down to those lower 3 chakras. And so there are different things. With the moldavite, I put in energy to amplify its natural effects. And what the result is, it changes the shape of your energy field so negativity can't remain. Those parts of you still exist, but you can change your relationship with them. I see moldavite as a very Sagittarius or Jupiter kind of stone. There are definite times when not to use it, which I'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes, because that's one of the ones I've been using quite often lately. But anyway, all these different structures and crystals and colors, they do different things, and the energy I put into them affects that. Another example is labradorite, which I don't have an example handy. It's one where you turn it and it flashes gold, blue, whatever. But the matrix might be gray or bluish looking, kind of dull, and then you flash it. There's like this, labradorescence is what it's called. But that, for example, what that would normally do is activate your intuition, your right brain. And it might activate your left brain as well, right? Logic versus, imagination. The way I program them, it will do that and balance left and right mind, and also connect the 6th chakra, the mind, to the 3rd chakra, the gut instinct. So that's a very powerful effect. And so some of the, you'll read about that on my site and other videos here on YouTube. But I just want you to understand that what the crystals that I offer do, they function as if batteries giving off frequencies to open up blocks in your field, your emotions, your body itself, retrace energy pathways after breaks or injuries, call up old emotional junk, inspire you to cry so you can move through something, because that's the only way to really move through painful stored energies. So the crystals that I offer do quite a lot more than most crystals. And like I said, they're 25% off this month. Use I Am Empowered at the checkout at tdjacobs.com. So that's a kind of intro a little bit. And I've sold many crystals over the last, I want to say 6-ish years, maybe 5-ish years, starting with tiger iron. But I branched out quite a lot. I've just learned more about different healing techniques. I mean, probably over 1,000. I don't know. I mean, the tiger iron numbering, we're in the mid 300s, and there's a dozen other crystals. So I've definitely sold quite a lot of them, and I hear back from people that these crystals are their friends, and they're grateful to have them because it keeps them honest, or it keeps them with integrity or self-respecting, or it keeps them having solid boundaries with other people, red jaspers for boundaries, or it keeps them connected to their hearts, amethyst and pink opal. And so you develop a relationship with these crystals, and you can use them for all kinds of purposes. That leads me to a little Dear Diary moment, what I've been using. And I like to do this sometimes. I usually do it on SoundCloud or my blog, but I guess I'm really into making pink purple videos. I just moved 3 weeks ago from Arizona, which was not healthy for me, to Oregon, which is much healthier for me. So I'm adjusting. I've only been here literally 3 weeks as of today. And I've wanted to move here for years because I hated where I was and I loved being up here. I actually relax up here. I love the trees. When it rains, I love it. When the grass grows on the ground, I love it. So I've wanted to move here for a while, and after several years of trying to lobby my partner to move here, she loved the sun, she had a job she liked. We realized that some health problems that she was having were related to being in the desert, in the low desert, which is where I was in Tucson, Arizona. So she became willing to move. So we just got up here, and the stress of moving, the stress of her chronic illness, the stress of, I'm actually supporting her, so that financial, the weight on my shoulders of all that stuff, plus moving to a very expensive area, Portland, Oregon. So all that stuff was just building up and building up and building up. And also the stuff that was pulled out of me when I was in Tucson, some emotional stuff from other lifetimes, was really negative. So I was just really trying to manage all this stuff and get to the place where we could move. So now we get here, and there hasn't been a day where I have not wept because of all that tension stored up, or because I see trees. It sounds kind of strange, but if you feel like, if you spend 9 years and 6 weeks in the desert, you feel like it's a prison sentence. It's complicated why I didn't leave earlier. It's complex, but the point is, Now I actually enjoy what I see in front of me, so I cry a lot. And then I also saw the what's that movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury? What's that movie called? Bohemian Rhapsody. And I just bawled because what they did was that if you don't know this, they took this actor, but they during the singing scenes they played Freddie Mercury's actual voice, and the emotion in Freddie Mercury's voice, just listening to it, for a couple hours, I just crying. It's just crying. The humanity, and so I've been like crying a lot up here and trying moving energy and purging energy out. What I've been using essentially has been to try to stabilize that emotional stuff, and also to reconnect with my community, because now I'm in a very different part of the country. Everything's different, reconnect with my work. It's been slow for a few weeks. And so I typically go as a go-to. I spend a lot of time with moldavite. I just showed you the pieces earlier. This may seem darker than what you're used to seeing with moldavite because I pick thick pieces. So like actually here I have a thinner piece. It's got a little gum on it, but like a little sticky. But anyway, you can see it's like a little more see-through, smaller pieces. Anyway, I use these two big pieces all the time, and also these two slightly smaller pieces, because when you get used to a frequency, you move up and you can handle more of it. And so that's been happening. So I use those for. But the idea was, remember, they function to change the shape of your energy field so there is less room for negativity. So as parts of me have complained about living in the desert and the pressures of taking care of my girlfriend, now I felt like I had to move to survive emotionally, but then I moved to a place that's more expensive. All this stuff, right? And this stress. I was using this a lot, and it wasn't working. So I still have them with me all the time. But what I did was I went back to auralite 23, which is I have several examples I'm going to show you actually of auralite 23. I just programmed the last uncharged pieces that I have, and I'm putting them up on my site soon. These are the ones I've kind of taken a shine to. They're little 1-inch marbles. Now it looks like amethyst. Here's the other one. You can kind of see that. And sometimes they'll have like these quartz inclusions. You can see the lighter part. On this one, it's much more obvious there. And auralite 23 is mostly amethyst, but it has at least 17 of up to 23 metals in it as well. And I was talking to one of the guys who was instrumental in promoting it when it first came out, 15 years ago or whenever it was, 10 years ago. And he said that lab analyses show there are many more constituent elements in there. But as far as the metals go, it's at least 17 of 23 in any given piece. So you might be drawn to this piece and not that piece, and whatever its particular balance of metals appeals to you energetically, whatever. Here is another version where obviously it looks like amethyst, right? You can see the kind of the chevrons in there a little bit. And the idea with auralite 23 is that it can help you disconnect from that inner negative voice. So the moldavite wasn't working, so I went back to holding these all the time, having in my pocket, sleeping while holding them, and it took me about 3 days to reconnect with the vibration, just to get used to it again. Like, your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife leaves for 3 weeks and comes back, and you're like, whoa, like, you don't just reconnect right away. You kind of have to get to know each other a little bit. Or if you're gone for a summer or something like that. It was like that, where I had to readjust to it. And but I was worried because the frustrated parts of me were not leaving. So anyway, so I got in this groove of using the moldavites with the auralite 23, and eventually it did start to work. And then I remembered that good groove auralite 23 and I have had for so long. And so I've been having more dreams because it inspires dreams. And it's like a 7th chakra stone that helps you not believe that inner critical voice. So I have at times like taken one of these, here's another wand, an unpolished wand, where it's programmed, right? It's a battery giving our frequency. You dip it in water for a second or two. Don't soak it. The metals might leach out over time, but just dipping it in there, the energy will transfer immediately. And anyway, you drink that, that can stop the cycles and circles of that stuff in your mind, the negativity that may make you feel trapped. So I started to reconnect with that, and I started to feel better, and I started to feel optimistic again. And I went to K2, which is another kind of high vibrating crystal. As I showed you before, it's granite. This is obviously the lighter stuff, and this might actually look like your countertop or parts of your house that are granite. I'm always freaked out when I'm in like a hotel or recently like an Airbnb place, and the countertop looks like this without the azurite, but I'm like, oh my God, that looks just like, because it's granite. Anyway, so the granite is very grounding. It pulls energy down, not in a serious way like the tiger iron, but it pulls energy down, while the azurite, these blue blobs in it, you see that? I'm blocking my finger. The blue stuff in it blobs and smears. I guess you see how the blobs actually smear together as well. That raises your vibration. So when people who get these, I recommend that you do a meditation. First of all, I have some bigger pieces like eggs and spheres like that big, but I kind of recommend getting 2 smaller pieces like this. And I have, I think, 4 or 5 different sets on my site, because the whole one in each hand helps the effect flow through your body. And breathe in from your crown and from your root, from the earth, and from the crown, from the cosmos simultaneously. Make a column of yourself, because it wants to stretch you open to reach your highest potential while you're a person. So I use them for setting goals, and setting goals for things I don't want to do, and for re-inspiring myself to take a step forward, even if things are stressful, even if I feel weightiness or heaviness. In an earlier video on K2, because when I first bought a bunch of pieces, I bought really small ones, and they were just really small. And when I programmed them, the effect was so strong that when I would hold my hands around them for more than like 15 minutes, my knuckles would hurt, like I had arthritis or something, which I don't. And so I couldn't hold them for very long. It turns out the bigger pieces, the effect is slower and a little slower, so it doesn't vibrate quite as crazy as the tiny pieces. It's the only crystal I've ever worked with where the smaller one, when programmed, is more intense. Like the fewer grams, the lighter weight it is, it's more intense. So I've been using these quite a lot for 5 or 10 minutes at a time as well. Periodically having them like near the bed and holding them when I sleep or I'm going to sleep, but mostly it's the auralite 23 and the moldavite. So that's mostly what I've been using, and I have been using the tiger iron. After I used tiger iron for so long, over years, I stopped using it all the time. And then about 6 years ago, I started making pieces and programming them with energy. So I was essentially using them quite often, you know, every 6 weeks or every 3 months or something, between polishing, cutting the stones, and infusing them with energy. But since then, I haven't had my workshop going since last winter. So I don't know, like, we left our townhome in April. We've been in temporary housing since April. It's now the end of November. Long story. But anyway, I haven't had my workshop going. So I've had to buy pre-made tiger iron pieces. And anyway, programming them does ground me and reconnect me. So I've done that twice over the last week, actually, or the last couple weeks, 10 days. So I have been using those and keeping them handy. And I'm going to put these strands of beads up, and I'm also going to make a mala, which is a prayer bead thingy with 108 beads in it. I'm going to make one of those from the programmed tiger iron beads I'm going to put up on the site soon. But so I have been using tiger iron in that way as well. You know, in this video, mostly I've talked about high vibrating stones. Moldavite, auralite 23K2, these are the highest vibrating stones that I offer. I recommend strongly that you get grounded. So I recommend you get the tiger iron. I also do have my larger, this is my personal one. The ones on my site are smaller. But my hematite, programmed hematite sphere, which is basically iron. If you notice, you'll see like the gray and brown areas, right? If you can get over this glare from my computer. When you see hematite that's magnetic, it's this stuff that's been pulverized, put into, mixed with glue, and then put into molds. So this is actually raw hematite that's been polished. It's in a matrix, it's brown. So it's iron within the rock. So that's for the root chakra, pulls energy down. And in the tiger iron, hematite is one of the three constituent materials. Hematite for the root, first chakra, red jasper for the second. Sometimes it shows up as being brown in these beads. I guess I'm not hitting the camera anyway. And then gold tiger eye, which is that kind of brightish golden thing, for the third chakra. But anyway, you can get hematite for grounding, tiger eye for grounding. You can also get shivalingam for grounding, and that'll appeal to some people, and onyx. Some people use that for grounding. I find it a very intense stone to work with, but there are people who relax. Like, I find it energizing. It's like a plutonian infusion of energy for healing trauma, for dealing with deep fear and pain and loss and grief and anger and all kinds of intense plutonian things. I actually am a little too energized to spend much time around them. And they have Metatron's energy, which is very intense, infused into them. But some people do relax and find that grounding is natural for them when they're using the hematite. So I encourage you to look at tdjacobs.com and check out the different things. Check out the different videos here and know that through the end of December 2018, 25% off, plus shipping, but 25% off if you use the code I am empowered. And you will, if you're drawn to it, you might read something in the description that says, oh wait, that's for me. Or you might have heard again and again people saying to you, oh, you should have auralite 23, but you don't know anything about it. And then you're reading about it or watching a video and you're saying, oh my God, that's what I need. You know, this pull to it. You might also see a picture and you can't stop looking at it. That is how you know that crystal is for you. And then if you look at 5, like let's say it's you know, one of the moldavites, and that's actually a thing that happens all the time with moldavite. You get drawn to it if you're ready, and so. But then you look at pictures of 5 other moldavites or other websites with moldavites, and you don't care. It's that one piece. That's how you know that you're drawn to it. You know, all kinds of healing properties. Sometimes I use this forward tagline for the healing for these program crystals: open, balance, heal, release. And one of the ideas is because they're giving off frequencies, specific frequencies. If that appeals to you, then you need that frequency to fill in a gap, to like put a cork in that leak, or to add in that sense of confidence so you can take a step or treat yourself with better care or respect, or stop disrespecting or sabotaging yourself or something. But the frequency of that stone fills in a gap or starts a new process. You're an energetic being. You are consciousness. You happen to be in a body right now, unless you're a ghost watching this video, and you're not. But you happen to be in a body if you're human, and your energy field is shaped by your beliefs and your emotions and the residues of experiences that are stored within you from this life and other lifetimes. Your consciousness that exists across time, in fact. So the crystals activate different things, quiet down the excess of that thing, pull forward the not excess of that thing, the dearth or the what's a good, oh my God, dearth. Anyway, activating things, balancing things, releasing things, healing things, causing you to cry to move out energy, helping you change your relationship to yourself and the cosmos and other people. So if you have questions about, which of my crystals might help you, email me, tom@tdjacobs.com. I do prescriptions. You might even say, here's my issue. Can you give me a recommendation? I'll probably give you 2 or 3, and you can read about them and see if one feels right to you. One person recently wrote me, I said in some video, oh yeah, send me a question. And he wrote me, which of the crystals that I have here on my table or in my life are going to benefit me right now? Which is kind of a bullshit question. Like, I'll answer questions for you about the crystals that I know how to work with. I don't know what's on your table. I don't care. But I can help you with these 15 or so crystals that I've learned how to use in order to open, balance, release, and heal. So anyway, be in touch, tom@tdjacobs.com. Check out the sale, 25% off. These make fantastic gifts as well. Like if you know somebody who needs to clean up a relationship, red jasper. If you know somebody who can't sleep because of anxiety, tiger iron. If you know somebody else who's trying to heal a ligament or a muscle injury or an old bone break, Metatron tiger iron or onyx. If you know somebody who needs the inspiration to get off the couch and do that thing already, Shivalingam. If you need somebody who needs to stop listening to that negative self-talk, Auralite 23. If you know somebody, if you know somebody who has who's hard on herself and won't give herself compassion, programmed amethyst. So there's something for everybody, and what I want to do is dramatically reduce my inventory by giving, like the stuff that I just have at my house, all these programmed stones I've been building up, by giving new homes so you can benefit from these. That's why I'm doing this sale for an entire month. I've never done a sale on, well, I've done a sale like for these 2 weeks or this month on that crystal, 15% off or something like that. But I've never done just everything's 25% off. I really want you to explore benefiting from the upgrade, the change, the healing of consciousness that my program stones offer. So anyway, tdjacobs.com. Be in touch with any questions. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.